Hello, hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, can you hear me? Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Good morning to all of you who are present here right now, and good afternoon and good evening to all of you who are joining us from right around the world on live stream at the moment. My name is Lutfi Siddiqui, and I will be your MC this morning. It's a festive and a joyous day for us, and we're particularly grateful for the show of support from those who have traveled from afar to be with us here today. Could we please have a round of applause for them? Thank you. I just checked this morning the S&P 500 value of American stocks, for those who are following. It has lost 100%, everything, 100% of the gains of the last 12 months in the last few days. If you're familiar with the VIX index of uncertainty, that's at the highest level of uncertainty since the height of COVID. So, at a time of global uncertainty and massive disruptions everywhere, if you're looking for some positivity and some possibilities and a relative haven of untapped potential, especially now with a clear direction of policy and governance, you're in the right place here in Bangladesh today. We have a fast-paced program for you this morning, and I want to get started as soon as possible. Before that, how about we take a selfie, like a group Wi-Fi with the Honorable Chief Advisor? Should we try and do that? So hold on to your smiles. ভাই একটু আমি সরে যাচ্ছি, আপনি একটু তুলে দেন। এবার আমাকে নিয়ে একটা। Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Now, let's get started with the program straight away. I'd like to welcome, and I'd like you all to help me welcome him, the Executive Chairman of our Investment Authority, BIDA, and of our Economic Zones Authority, BEZA, and of course, the lead architect of this week's summit. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ashik Chaudhary.
Okay. Yes. Yes. Without technical difficulty, any session is a waste of time. Hello, hello. Yes. Sorry, that was actually intentional. We did it to just warm you guys up. So, good morning, everyone. Let's compete with Lutfi one more time. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for everyone for coming from such long distance. And we apologize for ones that we could not manage to give accommodation. We had exceptional level of interest for the summit, which is really great to see for us. My first slide is thank you slide. That's not the last slide. We just wanted to thank all of you for kindly coming and joining the summit. So the purpose of the summit is today, sitting in this forum, we would like to say that we are open for business, and we're really committed to win business from all of you. And to do that, we have already thrown Lutfi Siddiqui at you, not literally, but verbally. We'll also throw a Nobel Prize winner at you. We'll do anything to make sure that we win business from you. But first, I would like to take you to future. Let's think about a movie, Back to the Future. Let's go into that set and imagine that we are in 2035. In 2035, how would Bangladesh look like? You'll all be here again. My successor is going to be here presenting. That will be the 10th investment conference for us. And in that conference, we will not be talking about a rising economy, but we'll be talking about a regional manufacturing powerhouse. A country that's connecting east to the west, a bridge that connects Himalayas to Bay of Bengal, a manufacturing hub that is infested by global investors and local investors who are now exporting to the rest of the world. That vision, that imagination is what's driving us today. But it all started actually about 8 months ago. So from the future, let's go back in time to August 5th, 2024. It's a personal story for almost all of us. Unfortunately, I was in Singapore in an investment banking trading room, but my family was here. My wife was on summer holidays. My brother, who came from Cambridge for summer holidays as well, they were all out on street, part of the protest. So at around noon, Singapore time, I asked them, what's going on? What's happening in Dhaka? So what they did was they were part of a crowd. They looked forward, they took a selfie. Sorry, not a selfie, a photo what's ahead of them, and they turned back and took another photo of what's behind them. So this first photo was what was ahead of them, and this one was what was behind them. So we need to digest exactly what happened at that time. The young population, the entire youth, was out on street, demanding transparency, demanding opportunity, demanding democracy, demanding freedom of speech. And that's what has brought us here today. So today, the expectations are very high. The young population of our country, they're global. Unlike us, they're used to tweeting, they're used to looking at TikTok and looking at Singapore and Bangkok. So they don't want Dhaka to be Dhaka 2.0. They actually want Dhaka to become Singapore and Bangkok in 5-10 years' time. So how do we get there? That's the expectation we have. How do we get to Singapore and Bangkok within 5-10 years? How do we unlock the energy that we got during the August Revolution? How do we harness that energy and convert it into employment generation and industrialization? The story for Bangladesh was always there. A lot of you already know about it. We have 180 million domestic market. We have a young population. Almost half of it is less than 25 years old. The middle and affluent class is about 35 million people, which is as big as the Malaysian total population. We have many, many other factors that has led to where we are today. And actually, I must say that there are companies who have been here for more than 100 years and have made exceptional returns compared to the global markets. So if you look at some of these companies who have actually operated in Bangladesh for a long, long time, the returns they have got in Bangladesh is actually significantly higher than the global average. And today, we also have a fantastic news that one of our own startups called ShopUp, the news came out about an hour ago in Bloomberg that the Saudi sovereign PIF, their investment arm called Hon'ble Investments, they have actually co-led a round of $110 million along with Peter Thiel's Valor Ventures to invest in one of our own startup to go global. So let's give a big round of applause to ShopUp. So that's today. That's today. So what's tomorrow? How do we go from here to the vision we have for 2035? So this $180 million story, or 180 million people story, is not enough. I think we need to redefine market. we believe the market is actually much larger. When we talk about market, we should be talking about a much larger regional market which you could potentially serve out of Bangladesh. You set up your factory here, you export out to all these markets. At the same time, I would expect these markets to set up their factories and push it back to Bangladesh. Use the ports of Bangladesh and potentially export out to the rest of the world. So the narrative that we've had, why invest in Bangladesh, is not really a domestic market 180 million story. It is a regional story and it's a global story. To further strengthen ourselves, we have decided to enhance our port capacity. In Chittagong area, what you see now, we are actually tripling that within the next few years, which is essentially allow this region to consider Bangladesh as one of the biggest logistical hubs. However, that's not all. We need to do a lot more. So at the beginning of interim government's period, we actually decided to talk to more than 200 CEOs and entrepreneurs who actually are doing business in Bangladesh today. And we wanted to understand how can we convert our critics into our ambassadors. They are the only ones who could potentially bring business for us. They are the only ones who, if they travel abroad and say Bangladesh is a great place for business, that's when we are likely to get more investment. So we divided all their complaints into two groups, or the solutions that came out of their complaints. The list of challenges are very long. It's from the earth to the moon and back. But we whittled it down to a few action items, some of which are short-term wins, so some of that you see here, some of which are actually long-term policy reforms that we would like to also undertake and set the direction of travel for the country in the right course so that the incoming government, the next government, the political parties who come and start driving this economy, they can follow the same script for us. I'll give you a few examples. Let's start with, we talked about a true one-stop service. There are two elements of one-stop service. The first one is the human element, and then there is the digital element. In the human element piece, what we have decided to do is we are going to co-locate the primary agencies, the high touchpoint agencies for our investors in one location. So that instead of the investors walking around different ministries, and we have a lot of them in Bangladesh, they all come to one office and they end up meeting everyone. We've also decided, like banks, and I am from banking, I guess that helped, that we are going to set up a relationship management team under BIDA. What it would essentially do is, just like a corporate banking, relationship banking manager, he would hold hand of the investor and walk them around the landing process. Let's take another example. Our friends in National Board of Revenue helped us set up the authorized economic operator. It's essentially the green channel, or widely known as the green channel setup, where if you're a good customer, you are able to circumvent some of the custom checks and fast-track your process through the ports. That has been picked up as one of the biggest challenges that we have, the time it takes to go from your factory all the way to your customer. And finally, let me show you one more example of policy change. So as you all know, there are many government agencies. We also know there's private sector. The dialogue between private sector and government agencies has not necessarily always been the most collegial. So how do we break that apart? The first thing we need to do is to club the government agency into one. We need to show one face. We need to be one outfit for our customers, our investors, and then create a bridge between our private sector and the government of Bangladesh. So what we are planning to do is to set up a private sector advisory council that will actually counsel the head of state directly on a regular basis, essentially voicing the changes that they would want to drive the economy forward. So these are some of the examples of what we are planning to do. And if we are able to do that, we do believe that we will get to the end, the vision we have for 2035. Now, of course, there are many, many other factual reasons, statistics, tables, Excel files that I can share with you to tell you why you should invest in Bangladesh. In fact, the next slide will have a QR code which you can scan and download, which will have essentially this presentation. So you didn't have to take the photos of the presentation, by the way. You will have this presentation, and you will also have an appendix of facts and figures and why we think competitively we're actually in a very better place than our competitors. So please watch out for the QR code. But before I go there, I would really like to finish off with this. There are economic reasons to invest in Bangladesh, but I really don't want you to invest in Bangladesh for the economic reasons. If you really think about investing in Bangladesh, think about investing in Bangladesh because of the transformational journey you're going to be part of. For the odd mixture of warmth and resilience our people have, and our century-old culture paired with the shared values that we have with you. So I rest my case here. Thank you very much for coming, and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ashik. I just want to check whether people were listening or not. So a quick test. I need a show of hands. When he said that we would like to convert our critics into, did he say convert our critics into super critics, neutral observers, into ambassadors? Can I hear the answer? Ambassadors, super promoters, ambassadors. Thank you very much. So let's now move on to the next section. Here, this is what we're going to do. Instead of us marking our own homework, talking up our own game, we would like to hear from 3 distinguished speakers from outside of our government. In quick succession, 3 of them from 3 different perspectives. First up is the Chief Executive Officer of Inditex, the makers of Zara, all the way from Spain. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Oscar Garcia Macea. Here you go, Oscar.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, distinguished authorities, and dear friends. As have already mentioned, I'm coming from Spain. That's my first visit to Bangladesh, and it's for me an honor and a privilege to stay here on the stage this morning. We are about to reach, thank you. We are about to reach the 50th anniversary of the company. In 1975, we opened in our hometown in the northwest of Spain, in A Coruña, the first Zara store. So since then, we have been traveling a lot and crossing paths with many, many people. More than half of this time, we have been partnering with critical stakeholders here in Bangladesh. We arrived on Sunday morning, and during these 4 days of very busy and very crowded agenda, I have had the chance of confirming every single minute the feedback that I received about Bangladesh when I joined Inditex 4 years ago. Entrepreneurial spirit and an ambition to keep on growing and to keep on improving not only the financials, but also, and even more important, the lives of the people. So for us and for me, realizing that all of the feedback that I have been receiving from my teams during these 4 years before arriving at Bangladesh, confirming those ideas has been a great honor and a great privilege. As has just been mentioned, we are living times of uncertainties. Inditex formula, during these almost 50 years running business, has been innovation and flexibility. We have been innovating a lot in our fashion proposition, providing our customers our products that rely on creativity, on quality, on design, and sustainability. Second, we have been innovating a lot in terms of the experience that we have been providing to our customers in our physical stores and in our online platforms. Bear in mind that we have physical presence nowadays in 97 different countries, and we are about to open our country number 98. As I have the chance, thank you. As I have the chance of sharing with many of the shareholders that I have the opportunity to meet these days, why not in the future, Bangladesh could join us as a new market for having our physical stores in the if the conditions are met. And we have online presence in 214 markets. We have been also innovating in the way in which we distribute our products, sending newness twice per week to our 5,500 stores. And finally, we have been innovating a lot in terms of sustainability. So innovation is one of the key features for our approach of running business. Flexibility is the second main characteristic of our company. As a fashion retailer, we have to adapt ourselves every single day to what our customers are looking for and serving them what they are asking for us almost absolutely every day. Coming back to Bangladesh, what we have been noticing during these 4 days and the feedback that I have been receiving from my teams here on the ground and in Spain is that those characteristics of innovation and flexibility also applies to Bangladesh. We have, thank you. We have very strong partners that are critical for us, producing all of the products that our customers are looking for. And I guess that these two main characteristics, innovation and flexibility, that joins Inditex and Bangladesh, are critical for the times that are coming to all of us. In terms of uncertainties, I guess that the strength should rely on the innovation, looking for additional ways of improving or growing, of achieving all of our objectives, and flexibility, because the rules are changing and we should adapt to those rules. Thank you again for counting on us, for providing me the privilege of having these remarks, sharing with you. Be sure that Inditex will stay here in Bangladesh. We will keep on strengthening our relationship with our different stakeholders and hope to see you soon in Spain. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Oscar. Thank you very much, Oscar. Next, we will hear from the United Kingdom's trade envoy to Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Baroness Rosie Winterton.
Thank you, Ludwig. Thank you. Good morning. Honourable Chief Advisor, honourable advisors, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, friends. I'm delighted to have been invited for this superb event today, showcasing the best of Bangladesh and its flourishing business world. Before I go any further, I should tell you that quite a lot of what I'm wearing today was made in Bangladesh. I won't go into too much detail, but rest assured, I always check the label. And earlier this year, I had the privilege of being appointed as the UK's trade envoy to Bangladesh. And when I was asked, I was absolutely delighted to accept this role for several reasons. The first is the opportunity to help with the UK government's #1 mission, and that is driving economic growth. This mission recognizes that growth can unlock countless opportunities and raise living standards for everyone. And to achieve this, we are working with business and partners around the world. And the UK and Bangladesh has, as we know, a shared endeavor of economic growth, job creation, and prosperity. And frankly, this summit exemplifies that. The second reason why I was very excited to accept this role was having the opportunity to come back to your vibrant and fantastic country. I was last here in 2017, and a lot has changed since then. For example, the world has witnessed the generosity of the Bangladeshi people for welcoming over 1 million Rohingya refugees who fled persecution and violence in Myanmar. Thank you for that. As we enter the 8th year of the crisis, the situation in Myanmar remains bleak. The UK, my message, is our unwavering support for Bangladesh and the Rohingya people. We will continue to do everything we can to support those in need, while actively working towards a safe, dignified, and sustainable future for the Rohingya people. The UK wants to extend its heartfelt thanks to Bangladesh for its generous hospitality in hosting the refugee population. And of course, last year, as a friend of Bangladesh, we were all deeply saddened by the violence and loss of life during the student-led movement. We recognize the bravery of these students and many others who called for a different future for Bangladesh. Now, as a former Deputy Speaker of the House of Commons, and I may at some point say order, order, if things get out of hand, I take a very keen interest in institutions and the role that democracy plays in advancing stability, growth, and prosperity. So the UK is working with the interim government on their priorities to restore law and order, ensure accountability, and promote national unity. And that is why, Honourable Chief Advisor, the interim government has the UK's full support as you chart a peaceful transition to an inclusive, prosperous, and democratic future for Bangladesh. And it's well documented that the UK and Bangladesh share a deep and historic relationship. As a former Member of Parliament for 27 years, surely not, they said, I witnessed the huge contribution that the British Bangladeshi community made in my former constituency in Doncaster, and also across all 4 nations of the United Kingdom. In that time, I also saw Bangladesh become a rapidly developing economy driven by the incredible might of the Bangladeshi people. And I'm proud that the UK and British businesses such as HSBC, Standard Chartered Bank, Unilever, and UK high street retailers such as Marks & Spencer, Primark, and Next have played a significant role in Bangladesh's economic growth story, creating and supporting hundreds of thousands of jobs. As the UK government itself now focuses on growth and jobs and places this at the heart of our foreign policy, the UK remains laser-focused on building the economic partnership that will boost two-way trade and investment between our two countries. The foundations to achieve this are already there. The UK is one of the biggest sources of foreign direct investment in Bangladesh. It's the third largest market for Bangladeshi ready-made garments, and Bangladesh is the biggest beneficiary of the UK's trade preference scheme, the Developing Countries Trading Scheme. This gives Bangladesh duty-free and quota-free access to the UK market until 2029. And after that date, 92% of Bangladesh's exports will continue to get duty-free access to the UK. This scheme also encourages Bangladesh to diversify its exports to the UK beyond garments, laying the groundwork for Bangladesh's economic security ahead of LDC graduation next year. The Developing Countries Trading Scheme provides opportunities for UK buyers and Bangladeshi suppliers across an increasing range of products. And as Bangladesh prepares to engage and enhance its trading relationships in the post-LDC era, the UK government is providing technical assistance to the Ministry of Commerce to strengthen their capability on trade policy and negotiations. I'm also pleased that His Majesty's Revenue and Customs will be providing capacity building support to the Customs Wing of the National Board of Revenue to enhance trade facilitation. Taken together, these initiatives constitute significant UK contributions for Bangladesh's LDC graduation process. Moreover, in support of the interim government's economic priorities, the UK is playing a proud role in supporting macroeconomic stability and restoring confidence in Bangladesh's banking sector, crucially important. And that allows Bangladesh to tap into the world-leading UK expertise in the financial services sector and build resilience in countering economic headwinds. The UK offer does not stop there. However, it's further complemented by our British investment partnerships. Our development financial institution, British International Investment, recognizes Bangladesh as a powerhouse market. It's investing $450 million in Bangladeshi companies between 2022 and 2026. BIA has invested in companies such as RFL Electronics to help diversify Bangladesh's manufacturing base, as well as supporting micro and SMEs and women-led businesses. I saw some great examples yesterday, I can tell you, through funding partnerships with BRAC Bank and Citibank. Sitting alongside this, our export credit agency, UK Export Finance remains committed to supporting private sector growth with up to £2 billion cover available to support projects in Bangladesh across all sectors, all sectors. Now, while I've enjoyed the benefits of Eid to get to this venue on time, one of the challenges that affects everyone in Dhaka, I hope you won't mind me saying this, is its infamous traffic, which I'm afraid does dent productivity. And that's why London's Transport Authority, Transport for London, is working with Dhaka city authorities to test ideas that can help reduce traffic jams. And I'm sure there will be a big cheer for that one. And I am aware that many British and international businesses see the growth and opportunities of this market and want to expand their operations here. But at the same time, we also do hear concerns from businesses about laws, regulations, and red tape that make it more difficult for them. And we are keen to help Bangladesh take full advantage of global business through an enhanced and enabling environment that rationalizes the cost of doing business, reduces regulatory bottlenecks, and ensures protection for intellectual property rights. We welcome BEDA's steps to implement as many reforms and as quickly as possible, and that is injecting confidence to foreign investors that Bangladesh is open for business. We're providing technical expertise to BEDA to develop its analytical capability, continuing a collaboration that goes back for more than 20 years. The UK is also committed to supporting Bangladesh's ambition to become a knowledge-based economy. Transnational education, or TNE, plays a vital role in this by bringing world-class UK education directly to Bangladeshi students. And frankly, this not only equips graduates with the skills needed for the global workforce, but also strengthens Bangladesh's appeal as an investment destination. I think this is a crucial area for future partnerships. And while some excellent UK TNE programs already exist there, as I say, we do see significant potential to expand these partnerships. The UK government, through initiatives led by the British High Commission and the British Council in Dhaka, is actively working to foster an environment where these collaborations can flourish. And we believe that by working together, we can, as I say, further strengthen the educational ties between our nations, benefiting both our economies and our people. Moving to our climate partnership, we're working together to unlock investment in clean energy and climate adaptation solutions. And we do want to harness the UK's world-leading financial sector and renewable energy expertise to help deliver Bangladesh's climate ambitions. And we all know in this room how important that is for the future of the world. In defense, we both share a deep and enduring commitment to a free and open Indo-Pacific. There's significant potential, however, for much closer defense collaboration over the coming years, building on our enduring military-to-military partnership. And I see opportunities to unlock ready-to-go opportunities in the maritime sector and in wider defense procurement partnerships. So, now as Bangladesh diversifies, I call to action British companies across all industries. Come out to Bangladesh, seize the opportunities here. I was delighted to be with Ashik Chowdhury last month at the UK government's Indo-Pacific Trade Roadshow in London and hear him share, as he did today, the exciting prospects to do business in this country. It's inspiring. And as he and I discussed, I'm particularly pleased that we're working closely with Bangladesh on our shared ambitions in aviation, in defense, in financial services, higher education, and the transition to cleaner growth. So to conclude, the UK and Bangladesh economic, trade, and investment relationship is stronger than ever. I can tell, you can feel it here today, there is a fresh impetus for us to refresh our bonds and work even more closely together.
Oh, he'll come from that side.
The UK will remain a steadfast partner to Bangladesh, and our businesses and people in both countries will play an important role in that together. Onek Donna Bag.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now to complete this trilogy, the third of our speakers will be our very own Syed Naseem Mansoor from Bangladesh. Mr. Mansoor is, amongst many things, the founding director of Apex Footwear. So, ladies and gentlemen, Syed Naseem Mansoor.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. Thank you so much. Honorable Chief Advisor, honorable advisors, excellencies, distinguished guests, and most importantly, fellow members of the Bangladesh business community, President of ICC Bangladesh, Metropolitan Chamber, Dhaka Chamber, and our friends from abroad. Assalamu alaikum, and good morning, sir. I am proud, privileged, and humbled to be able to present in front of you the local investor's perspective on Bangladesh. I work for a company called Apex. We are shoemakers, retailers. We work in the pharmaceutical space. But I'd like to start by doing the pop quiz that seems to be the style today. This morning, we were asked many, many things. And I think one of the things I would like to ask the audience is that what do you think a Qatar Airways pilot, a caregiver in Japan, Michael Kors handbags, golf clubs sold in Japan, and ocean-going vessels have in common? Any ideas? They're all born in Bangladesh. Thank you. This is what Bangladesh does. We create, we innovate, we find ways, as we heard from the CEO of Inditex. If nothing, we are creative. And the reason that we are here today, ladies and gentlemen, as the private sector of Bangladesh, proud to represent Bangladesh, is that number. It's not 165 million, it's not 170 million, it's not 175. It's the 114 million labor force of Bangladesh. This is the strength of Bangladesh. We talk about the three unspoken heroes, ladies and gentlemen. The farmer of Bangladesh, a tiny country half the size of Ohio, which feeds 170 million people. We talk about the migrant workers of Bangladesh sending back record amounts of remittance to Bangladesh, sustaining the consumption and the growth. And an area which is particularly close to my heart, the people who work on the shop floors of Bangladesh, making product from Bangladesh. For the wages that we are able to pay and that, inshallah, we will continue to raise, for the productivity that we get, for the quality that we deliver, for the obstacles that we overcome, there are very few countries in the world that has this quality of workforce. One of the things I never like to say, and I think we would like to consciously avoid, is the word cheap labor. I think it's demeaning to our labor. Our labor is not cheap. We have low-cost competitive labor that is some of the finest in the world, and you can ask any investor in Bangladesh. We have some of the most productive factories in manufacturing groups in Bangladesh. I'll name one, Coats. Coats is one of the largest thread manufacturing groups in the world. You'll be happy to know that their highest productivity factory is actually in Bangladesh. So there are many, many examples with the right management where this can be done. Now, the private sector that I represent, 76% of the total investment comes from the private sector. And what we have done is we have created markets, we've disrupted industries, we are born to export as RMG, as leather footwear where I work, we are agile and brave, and we are globally connected. And examples of this are just a few that I would like to now especially highlight to our friends maybe who are visiting Bangladesh for the first time. Local companies that have created industries. And let me tell you what would have been on that slide when that slide comes back. We talk about companies like Kollol. In the late 1970s, they decided that there is a market here for facial tissue, and everybody laughed at this company and said, facial tissue? And they went to the United Kingdom and then licensed Fay tissues. And today, facial tissue is a multi-million-dollar industry in Bangladesh. We're talking about companies like Square Pharma, which today not only manufactures FDA-certified grade pharmaceutical in Bangladesh, but actually has a plant in Kenya serving the African continent. We're talking about a company like Akij Bashir, which, by the way, is making European quality glass, but is also 51%, according to the website, solar. So we do things differently. You talk about a company, and this has now become iconic, Partex, which is actually, sorry, can you please go back to the previous slide? Okay, thank you. We talk about Partex. Partex is actually now a word in Bangladesh. We used to make furniture, thank you so much. We used to make furniture only with solid wood. Now you have Partex board. You talk about, I love this one. I don't know if you know this logo. It's Amanat Shah Lungi, the little flower on the side. Amanat Shah Lungi is a third-generation lungi producer, which is now a vertically integrated textile producer. Why can't we have an international lungi brand? A lot of people wear lungis. Look around. So I think there's a lot of stories here that need to be told. We talk about Arong. Arong is one of the few social businesses in Bangladesh, and Sir, of course, wrote the book on this, where basically they employ the rural artisans and they bring that to market at a speed and at a pace that nobody else can match. They just built the world's largest craft store in the Hon'ble. For those of you visiting, go take a look. 60,000 square feet of beautifully handcrafted Bangladesh. We talk about Pran. You can go from Africa, I think, to Antarctica, and you can go anywhere. And our version of Pran, of the famous patata chips, is everywhere. So Bangladeshi companies scale. Bangladeshi companies can compete. And of course, last but not least, we do have BGMEA. Putting Bangladesh garments on the map, made in Bangladesh, the label check that we heard about. ACI, the last example that I will give. ACI aerosol, we all grew up with that. Unfortunately, mosquitoes is part of life also in Bangladesh, but it's also an opportunity. This was a brand that was built in Bangladesh, then acquired by a US company. They came and they bought the brand. So Bangladesh is building brands not only for us, but for local investors. Now, Bengalis, traditionally, we have had this rep of being the babus. For those of you who don't know what a babu is, we tend to be not risk takers, we're risk averse, we like the nice government job, we like to have the 9 to 5. We're not the greatest entrepreneurs. That was the old Bengali. But look what the Bangladeshi Jadoo has done. We have gone in and we have found markets because we see opportunity to create, to disrupt, to find new ways to lead. We can scale. Bangladesh is one of the few markets where you can scale. You can test something and then you can roll it out to 20 million households. Talk to the people in Telenor, they will tell you. Ability. I think the ability to learn and to grow, not only just at the shop floor level, at the managerial level, entrepreneur, unbelievable. Very, very steep learning curve. And most important, a sense of responsibility. In the previous slide, I had a company there called Isfahani. All of us who are from Bangladesh know Isfahani. We are proud of this company now, more than, I believe, 3 generations, if I'm not mistaken, in Bangladesh. Run one of the finest eye hospitals in Bangladesh. Nobody forced them to do this. Nobody gave them a tax break initially. I know Chairman NBR is in the room. Hopefully, he will consider, sir. But they did it because they care and they love this country. So social responsibility was being done in Bangladesh before it was a word. Now, what are the next big things? We've all been talking about agro, but the one big thing I want to talk about is healthcare. If you look at how much money leaves this country, $5 billion officially that we know or we don't know, nobody knows the real number, and I'm so happy to hear that from China to other countries, people are being encouraged and incentivized to set up those facilities here. Look at that growth, $820 million just for medical equipment, make it in Bangladesh. This is the opportunity. Consumer electronics, we still have a tariff rate, tariff is the word today for everybody, almost 26% tax. It's a $1.65 billion market. We have local brands like Symphony who came in and started manufacturing phones, and now we have Samsung doing the same here. What's the next one? This is my favorite, skills. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not only a need, but it's a business opportunity. When you have 2 million people coming into the workforce, when you have one of the highest unemployed, educated youth forces in the world, we need to find ways to skill. And creating skills is business. Let's take some examples. Japan needs caregivers. I was having a conversation with a Brazilian company. They are one of the biggest producers of halal meat in the world. But sir, they have 30,000 factories where they are short of Maulanas because they can't certify it as halal. Why is this not an opportunity that we look at? How much longer do we just sending low-skilled and unskilled? So skilling is a huge opportunity for us. Logistics. You look at the millions and the billions of dollars going into land ports, seaports, airport, facilities management. I would like to request the chief advisor and the advisors, please look at managed services. Let's look at how we make this logistics. We are paying a lot of money, taxpayers' money, sir, for the hardware. Where's the software to manage this? Can we bring in internationally reputed players to manage these facilities so that we are more competitive? And of course, beyond apparel, we've heard this above, beyond and beyond. I think with the 10x growth in the last 20 years, global competencies that we've already acquired, and we have an export culture and DNA. In July and August, our exports did not stop. This country is resilient, this economy is resilient, we find ways out. A lot of countries would not be able to cope the kind of shocks that we've gone through. We are moving towards higher value added. Bangladesh is now making boots for the FBI that export at $85 made in Chittagong. We need to be proud of this kind of product. We're exporting sleeping bags. We are not just apparel or even shoes or even ceramic. There's a lot more happening. We know this story, 34 million, that MAC population that we all talk about, but most important is the growth rate. If you look at the 12.3% growth rate on a compounded basis, that's where we're going at. It's a young population, much younger than our competition. It's digitally ready. We can see that there's a lot of digital readiness penetration. There are obvious cost savings, but this is where I'd like to take a little bit of time. And this is where we talk about the transformation of the economy. Of course, there are challenges. There is always a risk-reward ratio, and there is a premium that you factor in your pricing. These are the areas that we have been asking to do work. We are now seeing the government focus on each and every one of them, whether it's a global regulation and standardizing our standards, whether it's access to capital. We've been hearing about Orange Bond, for example, newer ways to finance, how to raise competitiveness, how to create a level playing field for everybody. And I know the Ministry of Commerce is working very hard with the National Board of Revenue to do this. And, of course, the stabilizing macro situation. We have gone through an extremely turbulent period in our economy, but we are seeing some green shoots, and we are seeing also specific actions. There's too much information on that slide, but online document submission before ships arrive, very low-hanging fruit. Should have been done long time ago, already done. Online payment. So in each and every one of these areas, whether it's, I want to thank the BIDA chairman for this. Trade licenses, why every year? Why do we need to, let's have it for 3 years, let's have it for 5 years, already done. Long-term actions in terms of export diversification. Let's allow the bonded warehouse system beyond the RMG to other people. So why Bangladesh and why now? First, resilience is second nature. We are resilient as a culture, we're resilient as a nation, we have to find ways through. That's what we do. Whether it's natural disasters, whether it's man-made, whatever it is, whether it's the erosion of advantage, whether it's tariffs right now, we will have to find a way through. And I feel confident that working together, as we saw from the morning presentation, if the private sector and the government work together as we are doing now, and we continue to build that, we will find a way through. Location. We've heard about that extended market, and it's not just, I would say, the immediate neighborhood. We're talking about the Big B opportunity. According to the World Bank, the potential for increased growth in South Asia alone is $11 billion. So it's not just the Bangladesh market, it's way beyond that right now. I completely agree with Lutfe and with Ashik. Manufacturing is the story and must be the story, ladies and gentlemen. We have a population that is ready, that is willing to work in factories, that is not yet, if I may use the word, over-entitled, and they have the skills and they can be scaled. This is the sweet spot for the next 20 years, simply because of our age profile. And it's manufacturing across, for export, for domestic, as well as for shared. The macro and economic stability, we are seeing some very, very encouraging signs. The improved volumes of payments, the stabilized exchange rates, we are seeing rebuilding foreign reserves, and very important, inflation starting to trend down. This affects us everywhere, whether it's the domestic consumption story or the export story. And last but not least, most important for all investors, domestic end, is governance. And this focus on governance and 4 specific areas that we would like to appreciate. The judiciary system reform, we are seeing dedicated commercial courts come up so that the speed of resolution is faster. The public administrative reform, I think the idea that there has to be a service culture in public administration is taking hold. Financial sector reform, and of course, a zero tolerance on corruption. This is what foreign investors want to see. So, my concluding thoughts? Yes, we all know this number, right? There are more Bangladeshis than there are Vietnamese and Thais combined. But it's not just about the numbers. There are a few words in Bengali that do not translate. Man, Obhiman, and one of my favorite words is Shokhin. Sir, you can help me, but I don't know how to translate Shokhin. I believe it is people who like to buy things, who like to have nice things, not just buy, have nice things around them. We have a Shokhin culture. And this is a culture that's not just about consumption and materialism, it's also about appreciating what we have. So I would say to you, Bangladesh is investable, Bangladesh is invincible, and Bangladesh is in us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Nasim Bhai, and my apologies to you and to the audience for the interruption earlier on. Now we've come to the next segment of the program, which is really, really exciting because we're going to be celebrating and recognizing trailblazers in 4 categories. But I'm not going to tell you any more. To do that, please welcome on stage Mr. Nayan Rahman Rochi, Head of Business Development at BIDA and the overall operations lead of this event. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope that you are enjoying the Bangladesh Investment Summit so far. As Mr. Siddiqui just mentioned, I'll be announcing the winners of the first ever Excellence in Investment Awards, an award that recognizes and celebrates the journey and efforts of our investors who have made significant strides in reshaping Bangladesh's future through impactful investments. This year, the Excellence in Investment Awards will be given in 4 categories: innovation, ESG, foreign investment, and local investment. The award process was meticulously designed and implemented in partnership with KPMG, a globally recognized and independent professional services firm, bringing their global expertise and standards to ensure credibility, transparency, and fairness. Despite a very short application window, we did receive 167 applications, reflecting Bangladesh's dynamic and fast investment landscape. Can I please ask all of you to give a big round of applause to all the 167 applicants? The applications, though, then had to go through KPMG's globally accredited multi-step validation process that includes data verification, criteria-based scoring, and physical site validation. The shortlisted candidates then were presented in front of a 4-member high-level jury who eventually decided on the 4 winners for today. These inspiring organizations will be receiving a uniquely designed trophy by Mr. Shamal Sarkar, a renowned Bangladeshi sculptor known for his outstanding work on contemporary sculpture. The winner's trophy design reflects growth, economic progress, marked by innovation and inclusivity. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to know who the winners are? But a small note before I announce. To limit the disruptions in terms of movement, may I kindly request the winners, whenever I announce your name, to gather at the corner on my right side and stand there. I'll call you up on stage later, but if you can kindly just gather when your names are announced, that would actually help all of us. All right? Having said that, let's start with the innovation category, category number 1. This category recognizes successful early-stage entrepreneurs who have already made transformational inroads into the existing ways of doing business through either innovation or their entrepreneurial spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, the first Excellence in Investment Awards for the innovation category goes to Fabric Lagbe. Established in 2021, Fabric Lagbe has played a revolutionary role in simplifying the textile industry ecosystem by creating a digital marketplace and automating the different elements of the value chain. Can we have a AV on Fabric Lagbe, please?
In just 3 years, Fabric Lagbe Limited has redefined Bangladesh's textile sector, digitizing trade, connecting 7,500 plus buyers, and empowering over 500 women entrepreneurs. Through bold innovation and inclusive investment, Fabric Lagbe is building a smarter, more connected textile ecosystem, reaching over 100 countries worldwide. Today in Innovation category, we honor Fabric Lagbe Limited with the Excellence in Investment Award 2025 for creating an innovative digital marketplace to ease the fabric production, procurement, marketing, distribution, and sales processes. Congratulations, Fabric Lagbe Limited.
Congratulations. Moving on to the second category, ESG. Sustainability and responsible business practices are the foundation of this category, and it recognizes organizations that have documented proof of contribution in environmental, social, and governance space through their investment strategies. The award for the ESG category goes to Walton. Walton has demonstrated continued excellence and commitment to sustainability by setting up mass renewable projects, employee well-being initiatives, and consistent commitment to financial standards and governance. Can we please play the AV for Walton?
From a humble start in 2006 to becoming a publicly listed powerhouse, Walton High-Tech Industries has propelled Bangladesh's electronics industry to unprecedented heights, producing a wide range of electronics, reducing imports, and exporting to over 40 countries. Today, in ESG category, we honor Walton with the Excellence in Investment Award 2025 for maintaining high-quality environmental, CSR, and employee well-being projects, including 1,300 megawatt-hour annual annual renewable electricity production. Congratulations, Walton.
Congratulations. Well, we are halfway there. The next category is foreign investors. The eligibility of nomination for this category included all organizations where foreign investors hold majority shareholding in a company. The award acknowledges the role of international investors in advancing our economic progress. Let's reveal the winner for foreign investors category. The winner is Bikash. Bikash is the first unicorn startup of Bangladesh and has been consistently maintaining a stellar track record on both financial delivery and return for investors. Please, let's see what Bikash has done in the video.
Launched in 2011, Bikash has attracted global investors like IFC and the Gates Foundation, powering Bangladesh's digital financial revolution. Bikash continues to transform lives through sustained investment and innovation. Today, in Foreign Investment category, we honor Bikash with the Excellence in Investment Award 2025 for high gross turnover delivery, lower bank debt, and excellent gross profit margin of over 20%. Congratulations, Bikash.
Our last category of the Excellence in Investment Awards is the local investors, awarding local businesses for their outstanding role in driving economic growth, fostering innovation, and creating employment opportunities in the country. Always a big category, the local business one. The winner for the local category is Square Pharmaceuticals. Congratulations to Square Pharma, which continue to be a pioneer in the category with world-class manufacturing and export-driven growth. Square, in fact, over the last 3 years, has delivered 20% revenue. Can we watch a video on Square Pharma?
From a small venture in 1958 to a pharmaceutical giant, Square Pharmaceuticals has forged a legacy of excellence. Pioneering world-class manufacturing and export-driven growth, Square invests in cutting-edge facilities, R&D, and talent. Today in local investment category, we honor Square Pharmaceuticals with the Excellence in Investment Award 2025 for long-term investment commitment, average revenue growth of over 17%, and excellent return on capital employed. Congratulations, Square Pharmaceuticals.
Congratulations, Square Pharma, and to all 4 winners. Your contribution and inspiring stories will truly leave a legacy in our investment journey. Also, a shout out to all our applicants who participated in this year's Excellence in Investment Awards. You truly are the heart and soul of this economy, and we are truly, truly grateful to you. At this stage, to hand over the trophies to today's winners, may I humbly request our chief guest, Dr. Mohammad Yunus, Honorable Chief Advisor of the Government of Bangladesh, to kindly come to the stage. I also request Mr. Ashik Chaudhry, Chairman of Bida and Beza, and Mr. Lutfi Siddiqui, Special Envoy to the Chief Advisor, to accompany Sir to the stage. Lutfi bhai. All right. I would now request the winners to come onto the stage one by one and collect the awards from the chief guest. First category, innovation. May I call on stage Mr. Mohammad Nazmul Islam, Managing Director, Fabric Lagbe, to come onto the stage. Next, for the ESG category, I humbly request Mr. S. Mahbubul Alam, Managing Director of Walton High Tech Industries, to come to the stage. Foreign category and for Bikash, we have Mr. Kamal Saiful Khader, Chief Executive Officer, to receive the award. Last but not the least, for the local investment category, I request Mr. Eric S. Chaudhry, Director, Square Pharmaceuticals, to come to the stage and receive the award from the Honorable Chief Advisor. Thank you. May I now request all the winners to come onto the center stage to take a group picture. Thank you. That concludes our Excellence in Investment Awards, and I now request the winners to go back to their respective seats. Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoy the rest of the session.
So, just next second. As the four awardees leave the stage, we would ask the Honorable Chief Advisor to please remain with us for just a little bit longer, because we'd like to now invite a surprise reveal, another distinguished honorary in a very special category to the stage. I see him over there now. We need to find a way to bring him up. If you could, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Ki Hak Sung, please. As Mr. Sung makes his way to the stage, let me just say a couple of words. He's the founder, chairman, CEO of Youngwon Corporation, a Korean multinational company specializing in outdoor clothing and footwear. The firm is a global leader with production facilities in multiple countries, not least here in Bangladesh. We're truly grateful for his 45-year-long dedication to this country and his pioneering work developing the eco-friendly Korean export processing zone over the years. And today, we are delighted to award Mr. Ki Hak Sung an honorary citizenship of Bangladesh. seat. We'll ask Mr. Song to say a few words, please. Do you have a script? Or?
Honorable Chief Advisor and advisors and diplomats, my friends, especially friends from Chittagong, and my delegates from Korea, 35 delegates, we come along. On behalf of entire Yongwon family of 72,000 in Bangladesh and another 28,000 elsewhere, I am truly honored as well as humbled to have this honorary citizenship. Thank you. I must say, in one of the venues, I said, I'm leaving from one of my hospital in Korea, Severance Hospital, and Chittagong, shuttling between these two. So I was wishing that I become a citizen of Bangladesh, especially citizen of Chittagong. And it came 5 years earlier than I expected. I thought after 50 years, you would be giving this award to me. Thank you very much, Honorable Advisor. This is more overwhelming honored we are because Chief Advisor, Professor Muhammad Yunus is awarding this to me. Thank you very much.
So it's now time for the grand finale of the opening plenary. It's time for us to now hear from our chief guest, our chief host, and the Honorable Chief Advisor of the Government of Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Nobel Peace Laureate, Professor Muhammad Yunus.
Assalamu alaikum. It's a very emotional occasion. Seeing through the journey that Bangladesh has gone through. The people who are just presented, they are the heroes of Bangladesh. Let's give another big applause for them. Another standing ovation for our new citizen, Kyu Hak Sang. Wonderful. His dedication, his commitment. Thank you. Please have your seat. Just doesn't have any boundary. He loves Bangladesh. He worked for Bangladesh. He loves the nature of Bangladesh. I wish you could visit his factory. And he brought so many delegations this time to come to show his new land of citizenship. Can the members of the Korean delegation please stand up so that we can give you applause? Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Yeah. Fantastic. This is your home too. We'll make this home beautiful home. seeing them today, it's a journey that we have made the last 50 plus years. I was just remembering when we became an independent country in 1971. The celebration that we went through and commitment we made for building a new nation. Despite sacrifices of lives for achieving that independence, we rejoiced. We are free. That was 1971. Then came 1974. Today we are talking about 180 million people. In 1971, we were just about 1/3 of that size in population. Still the same country. 74 is a year that we cannot forget. Sorry. Sorry, my words. I cannot bring my word. People died of hunger. A famine throughout the country. One and a half million people died. So that was the country we started with. We used to grow one crop. We didn't know any other way. Our population was known as farmers because they have no other profession. And of them, three-fourths of the population were landless farmers. They had no land. They used to lease in a tiny bit of land from the people who had little bit of land to make a living by one crop. If you heard the word dirt poor, that was Bangladesh. Very difficult life. So if you take that journey from 1974 to 2025, it's an amazing journey. Here we're talking about all these big industries and so on, and inviting you for so many countries to set up more industries. We're talking about the big market, talking about the big, intelligent young population. That's Bangladesh. Came a long way in a very short time. In that famine-ridden country, one little initiative came just to relieve the burden of watching what's going on. To help people to lend money, tiny little money, $2, $3, so that they can start a business, focusing particularly, specifically on women. They are the most destitute of all. That became known as microcredit. We created a bank called Grameen Bank. Had no idea what this finally will turn out to be. But it turned out to be a global name. Because no matter which country you are, you have little Bangladesh of 1974 inside of you. You don't recognize it. You hide it by giving public money to them. So I always raise the voice. Giving public money to poor people is no solution at all. Solution is creating the structure, framework, will unleash the energy of the people. And microcredit was just a small effort of that. Then a crazy idea came over. When government wanted to issue license for telephone, we had nothing to do with telephone. We didn't have any telephone in the country. Few telephone in the cities, most of them don't work. So we talked, why don't we apply for a license for telephone company? A crazy idea. Government asked, what do you do with the telephone company? What business you got to do? I said, we'll give it to poor women. They laughed at us. To make a long story short, we got the license. Called it Grameen Phone, because we had the Grameen Bank, Grameen Phone. Nobody wants to partner with us, because we have no knowledge, nothing. Because Bangladesh is no place for mobile phone. There's no market for mobile phone. Who wants to be partner? So we knock at every door, international doors. Nobody wants to partner. Finally, someone I personally knew in Norway, who happens to be chairman of Telenor. I explained to him, can you help me? I explained why we want to do this and why we want to bring the phone to the women. He took it seriously. But the company board doesn't agree with him. They said, what, Bangladesh? We never heard a name called Bangladesh. So it's a big effort for him. The more board rejects, he comes back again, explain again. Finally, he got it through. The company assessment was, at the peak of this company, you will have 200,000 user of the mobile phone in the whole country, 200,000. And you cannot make a living on this with this kind of clientele. He told me, I said, are you crazy? It will be at least 10 times more than that. That's the way I could figure. It became the largest telephone company in the country. And women were the recipient of those telephone handsets, to turn them into what we call telephone ladies, sell the telephone service of the company. Men cannot apply, men cannot get the phone. Only poor women of Grameen Bank, not all women, only poor women of Grameen Bank can get a phone. Totally illiterate, has nothing to do, doesn't even know what a phone is. We train them. They started selling the service, saying, if you want to make a phone call to your son in the Middle East, in the meantime, Middle East saga began. So people wanted to talk. It became a roaring business. Soon, 100,000 women selling telephone service all over Bangladesh. It became so popular, everybody wanted to have a phone. Changed the whole company. At that time, there are other companies coming up around the world. They were focusing on their cities. The newspapers were covering us, not them. It became well known. So they started copying. For the first time, the idea came, phone have some use in the villages. They had no idea at all that telephone has any meaning in the villages. They're always concentrated on the cities. Telephone industry globally changed. I'm narrating this story a little bit because Bangladesh is a country with crazy ideas to change the world, make things happen. Everyone you saw on the stage receiving the award has a very powerful, crazy ideas and made them happen. So we invite you to join that crowd. Not only change Bangladesh by your business, change the world. I keep reminding people, yes, you want to make profit, go ahead, make profit. Maximize as much as you can. But we can add a little piece into it. Social purpose. You don't have to get disrupted by that. It's something that you can do, you have fun. Like many of you do already. So if you want to make a business with a purpose, along with the business that we do, Bangladesh is the place. You will not know what your business will be like. Why the whole world is following you. Why suddenly you look back, how did it happen? Bangladesh makes it happen. Always people explain how happy you got, you make money, we show the bottom line, fantastic thing. I try to add a little bit to that by saying making money is happiness, definitely, of course. But making other people happy is a super happiness. If you have business in Bangladesh, you'll have both happiness and super happiness. That you get extra with no cost. You'll be proud of what you have done. Like the people who stood here felt that. Super happy. Did something which impacted in people's lives. massively. With a country of famine, we're now talking about global entry to the businesses and everything. And at the same time, I'm just pointing out, which has been pointed out already, we don't look at Bangladesh alone. It is only one piece of the economy. We see the whole region, very powerful region, lots of resources. We work together, facilitate each other. It's not the business to grab everything out of you, it's a competition, you grab things. We twist a little bit. You earn money, but earning money together, changing the life of the people together, is a fun, is something that immeasurable. And each of your company can enjoy that super happiness by expanding and reaching out. Reaching out, the impact that you make, you never explored. Just a little opening. That's the magic. Changes the world. We said business is the most powerful mechanism by which you can change the world. But we are trained to focus on some so narrow thing, we miss out the world. We can try, opening a little bit. And I emphasize by saying, let's create a new civilization where you're wide, we're open, we embrace the world. I underscore by saying we can create a world of 3 zeros. It can be done with the businesses, not by the government. Government cannot achieve that. That's not the function of the government. It's the function of individuals, human beings. We are human beings. We can change the world. And business gives us a big, powerful tool in our hand. And the new civilization, I say, should be a civilization where there'll be no carbon emission. We can do that. That's where the business innovation comes. All we have to do is just pay attention to that side. No carbon emission. It's a self-destructive system if you allow carbon emission to continue. No wealth concentration. It's fun to make money. But wealth concentration is the most dangerous thing to a human being. It will destroy the whole world. And zero unemployment. The young people get excited about it. Because all of you are entrepreneurs, not job seekers. Think like an entrepreneur. Make things happen. And Bangladesh is a place to see that. How suddenly we are known as farmers. We're a country of farmers, landless farmers. We didn't have any land, much land, little. Only in the 70s, early 60s maybe, 60s, some crazy young guys from the universities dared to enter into something which is happening in the country because of business interest of other countries, garment industry. They said, why not us? That was the beginning of the garment industry in Bangladesh, those crazy young guys. All the first generation, some of them are already here, came out of that generation. And now moving into the second generation, you heard Naseem, the second generation entrepreneur. That's our history. In 2 generations, second generation is just the beginning. It's still the first generation going on. Topon is here too, I saw him. Where are you? Second generation, I'm sure. So that's a journey of generations. Now, what is the third generation coming up? Are we prepared for that? That's a challenge to all of us. And we talk about second generation, we have to talk third generation a little bigger. Boys and girls. Somehow, in entrepreneurship in the past, women left out. We have some, but very few. But women are as creative, as entrepreneurial as anybody else. Together, those young generation will change the world. They have the technology, they have the creativity, innovativeness, and problem-solving ideas. We don't have to look at the problem the same old way that we did 50 years back, waiting for the government to do something. We people can do that. That's a chance. So today it makes me very happy that we can gather together, and talk about creating that world. It's not just business in a limited idea, which is good, but you can have another space remains unutilized. Let's use this too. And Bangladesh, the business in Bangladesh is not only for Bangladesh, that's the point. It could be for the whole world. Who ever thought that microcredit, which started in a tiny little village, now would be a prime business in the United States, Grameen America? Millions of women take money from Grameen America. Loan size, in the American terms, less than $1,000. Imagine needing less than $1,000 in the United States. Such a hassle, such an impossible thing. They get so grateful that somebody gives them. Usually $500, $600. Now the whole Grameen America became annually about $2 billion a year. In the next 4 years, it will be $5 billion a year. It's growing very fast. So little things. In that sense, Bangladesh ground is very fertile. You put a little bit of seed, it becomes global. I wish I could tell all the stories that happen in Bangladesh, but I get very tempted, but they're all here. Talk to them, find out. And we welcome you to join us with that mission, creating a new world for the whole world. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, requesting everyone to stay seated until our Honorable Chief of Advisor is departing the hall. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, humbly requesting everyone to stay seated until our Honorable Chief of Advisor has departed the hall. Thank you.
Could I get the microphone, please? Can you hear me? Okay, so we've come to the end. Thank you for staying with us for a little bit longer for two reasons. One is that the Chief Advisor is going to walk around the Youth Entrepreneur exhibition outside, and SSF would like us to stay here for the duration of that. So hopefully it'll be done in just a few minutes. But also because I wanted to say a few words, if I may. First of all, the quiz. When the Chief Advisor said Bangladesh is a country of, what did he say? What ideas? Crazy ideas. And what did he say in that same sentence? Bangladesh is a country of crazy ideas, and we No one remembers the second part? We make things happen. That's right. Country of crazy ideas and make things happen. That is the main mantra that I'm taking away today from his points. Could we also take this opportunity to please thank our colleagues, led by Ashik Chaudhary, who have put together this spectacular week, this wonderful event. I know that for them this has been a labor of love, but they've really been giving it their all. And the best thing that I like the way they've done it, about the way they've done it, is that it has been a collaborative effort between the private and public sectors, and those of us who are resident here and those who are away. My third and second last message is that, particularly for those of you who are visiting from outside, but also for those of us who are based here, you'll be here for a few days, attending some of the deep dive sessions. You'd have seen and heard some things earlier today. If you like what you saw, if you feel that your beliefs, your prior beliefs have changed and have been updated, then please, you can do us a huge favor if you go back to your own communities and help spread the word. We could really do with a lot of help in being, what's the word that Ashik used at the start? Ambassadors of the message that we'd like to give out. And then finally, I believe there is going to be a QR code. Could we get the QR code up? There'll be a QR code up very soon, and as soon as we have that, if you wouldn't mind scanning that and give us some feedback. We would like this to be a learning affair. We want to do better next time round and the next time round. So it'll be wonderful if we could get your feedback, and that's all that I have to say. For now, please stay seated for a little bit longer, or at least stay within the room. I'm sure you can talk to each other if that's what you'd like to do. But from me, that's that. Thank you very much for your time. I'm Lutfi Siddiqui.